Hey, this is Chris in Las Vegas, and this interesting gentleman above me is Joseph McGonigal. And who is Joseph McGonigal? I tend to conflate him with Jose Silva, but Joseph McGonigal was a psychic spy, and this is the cover of Memoirs of a Psychic Spy. And what I love about Joseph McGonigal is he came out in the 1980s and 90s to say that he was a psychic spy for the US military. So, if you've ever heard of the MK Ultra experiments, and if you've ever heard of experiments with remote viewing, you might have heard of this guy, Joseph McGonigal. He was one of the head psychics on that project. You might have also heard of a Dannion Brinkley, an Ego Swan. These are all famous psychics who later came out to say that they were doing psychic readings at behest under the employee of the US government. And the funny thing is, even the US government in the 1990s had admitted they had put in military funds into psychical research. Now, the US military says that the psychical research, that the information that was gathered wasn't as effective as they were hoping it would be, so they discontinued psychic research, but we don't know that for sure. So, the whole idea with psychic spies and Joseph McGonigal is that they were trying to figure out a process in order to get information about anything, about any person, about any project in a far off place, and use that for intelligence purposes. Or maybe as a confirmation, as in we have a spy in that area of the world, let's try to verify if the spy's information is accurate. And more often than not, the psychic spies were correct. Now, remote viewing and psychic spies. Now, the whole idea of remote viewing is the idea of separating your consciousness outside of your body in hopes of getting information from a different place outside of your five senses. Again, using that sixth sense, that psychic sense. And how they would do that in the government is they would give each psychic envelope with coordinates on it. And what they had to do is to psychically send their consciousness to those coordinates in order to gain the information that they were viewing in their psychic vision. And they were even taught how to draw out their visions or give information, general information on a piece of paper, everything they were observing. They would either sketch out in a picture or they would draw out, I am seeing a table, I am seeing a car, I am seeing a ship, I am seeing people, I'm seeing the hostages. And the cool thing is the government would give these psychics the craziest questions, whether it be, are the Russians working on a nuclear sub in this location? Are there aliens on the moon? Are there aliens on Mars? And the cool thing about Joseph McGonigal, he was given tasks that were just crazy like that. He was given a task to see what was on the surface of Mars before like human beings existed. And supposedly he had saw visions of a civilization on Mars before Earth. And the cool thing about these psychics is that we can only verify that their service to the government was what they said it was, but we don't know if the information they gave was truly accurate. And that's why I'm totally into psychic spies and their work for the US government. Now, the cool thing about Joseph is that I first ran into one of his writings. He wrote the preface of a book on the military-industrial complex, and he talked about his role in the Stargate program, in the remote viewing program. It was also called, I believe, Project Grill Flame. But basically, it was the idea of using psychics to get information that conventional spies could not get. And for the time that it was being used, it was very successful. And I think I'm going to cover yet another one of the psychics from the Stargate program. Have you heard of the Stargate program? Have you heard of psychic viewing? Have you heard of remote viewing and psychics that work for the government? Hugs, health, and happiness from Las Vegas.